Today's passages come from 1 Samuel 12 and John 13, and the theme sort of tying these together has to do with leadership. In John 13, we get the scene of Jesus washing the disciples' feet, and Peter initially refuses and then relents, and then Jesus talks about why he did this. And in 1 Samuel 12, we get the scene of the Israelites asking for a king to replace Samuel, and Samuel chiding them for that. And there's this thunder and lightning, and the Israelites are like, oh no, we have sinned. And there's this really sort of sweet and tender scene. Pray to the Lord your God on our behalf so we don't die, for we've added to our sins by asking for a king. And Samuel says, don't be afraid. You have indeed sinned, but the Lord will not abandon you. And I feel like this is like a good sort of parent leadership example of, yeah, you messed up, you made a mistake. That should not equal fear. Parenting should not be fear-based. Leadership should not be fear-based. We should be able to fail, make mistakes, and not have that lead to this fear of what's going to happen to us. And I think that's related to Jesus saying, hey, do you understand what I've done for you by washing your feet? You call me teacher and Lord, and that's the right thing to call me. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you too ought to wash other people's feet, wash one another's feet. If you call me leader, then you should follow my example. If God sees the mistakes of his people and says, don't be afraid, then I think we too, as leaders, as parents, as people in relationship with others, we should never base our relationships off of fear. Instead, we should base them off of servanthood, off of serving one another, I think Paul says, like, the only sort of competition you should have with one another is who can serve the best. And yes, there's a place for boundaries and all those sorts of things. But in terms of what it means to care for others, it's about that servanthood. It's about being willing to wash their feet. It's about having someone come to you with a mistake and saying, no need to be afraid.